The stadium lights flickered like they were holding their breath, as if they somehow knew that tonight wasn't just another game, it was a moment the world had been waiting decades to witness. For a brief second, everything fell silent, the cameras, the crowd, even the flags waving in the cold night breeze, as though time itself froze in anticipation. No one saw him yet, but everyone felt him. Every fan, every player, every commentator sensed it, that invisible shift in the air, the kind that only happens before legends rewrite history. Somewhere beneath the dugout, hidden from millions of watching eyes, Shohei Ohtani tightened the straps of his glove, the shadows swallowing half his face like a warning. The world thought they knew his story. They thought they had seen everything he could do. They thought the script was already written. But tonight, Ohtani was planning something no one was prepared for, something so audacious it bordered on impossible. Rumors had been swirling for days, whispers carried across locker rooms, hotel lobbies, even across oceans. He might do it. He might actually attempt both roles, at the same time. Not just two-way. Something bigger. No one dared say it out loud. Until now, the door to the tunnel creaked open, the sound echoing like thunder in a cathedral. A single figure stepped out, not running, not jogging, but walking, each footstep deliberate, grounded, fearless. Ohtani emerged into the roar of the world. But it wasn't the usual cheer. It was confusion, a shock, a collective gasp. Because in his left hand he held his bat. And on his right shoulder, he carried his glove. Both. At once. Not for later. For now. Every camera swung toward him. Every reporter's voice trembled. Every rival's eyes widened. Was he actually going to do the unthinkable? He stepped onto the grass like he was stepping into destiny itself, the noise swelling until the stadium felt alive, breathing, trembling. His teammates stared at him, stunned, trying to understand what he was about to attempt. Even they didn't know the full plan. Not yet. The manager approached him with a look that mixed disbelief and helpless trust. Ohtani simply nodded, once, calm, steady, a warrior acknowledging the final battle. Then something happened that sent chills through millions. He kept walking, past the dugout, past the on-deck circle, past first base, until he stopped exactly halfway between the mound and the batter's box. Right in the middle, a place no player ever stood. A place that didn't even exist, until he claimed it. The umpires exchanged confused glances, unsure whether to intervene, unsure whether they were witnessing brilliance or madness. But the crowd, they knew. This wasn't a position. This was a statement. Two nations watching. Two roles merging. Two expectations colliding. And one man daring to be something the world insisted was impossible. The opposing pitcher froze, gripping the ball so tightly his knuckles turned white. He had trained his whole life to face batters, not legends rewriting physics. But Ohtani didn't move to the batter's box. And he didn't take the mound. He simply stood there, eyes locked on the pitcher, a calm storm ready to erupt. It became painfully clear. He wasn't choosing between hitting or pitching tonight. He was choosing both, at the same time, in a way no one had ever dreamt of. The catcher lifted his mask, confused. The coach shouted from the dugout. Fans leaned forward, breathless. Then Ohtani lifted his left hand, bat shimmering in the lights, and pointed it directly at the pitcher. A challenge older than the game itself. At that exact second, the bullpen gate swung open behind him. And a reliever jogged out. But the crowd quickly realized the reliever wasn't coming in to replace Ohtani. He was coming in to stand behind him. To mirror him. To follow his command. Ohtani wasn't just a two-way player tonight. He had become something else. A strategist, a conductor, a one-man revolution. He signaled to the dugout, and shockwaves rippled across the field. Fielders moved. Positions shifted. The entire defensive layout began rearranging like a living chessboard. This wasn't baseball anymore. This was a symphony. And Ohtani was the maestro. Then he lifted his right arm, glove glinting, and curled his fingers inward. A signal. The pitcher on his team nodded from the bullpen mound. He wound up. He delivered. And simultaneously, as the ball traveled toward the opposing batter, Ohtani stepped into the batter's box on the other side, preparing for what came next. Two plays happening at once. Two battles unfolding. Two legacies intertwining. For a moment, the world forgot to breathe. The opposing batter swung, a high fly ball rocketing into right field, but the world's attention didn't follow it. Because Ohtani had already swung his own bat. A sound like thunder cracked through the stadium. A meteor of a ball soared into the night sky, climbing higher, faster, farther than physics allowed. Two balls in the air. Two stories written in one heartbeat. Two nations screaming in disbelief. One crashed into a glove deep in right field, and out. The other disappeared into the upper deck, a home run. Chaos erupted. Never in history had a player hit a home run while his own team recorded an out on the same play, with him involved in both. Fans cried. Coaches collapsed. Commentators stuttered incoherently. Ohtani didn't celebrate. He simply lowered his bat, eyes burning with something deeper than pride. Purpose. Walking back toward the center of the field, his chosen territory, he paused, breathing in the thunderous energy around him. He wasn't just breaking the game. He was freeing it, showing every young player that rules are only real until someone brave enough decides they aren't. As he stepped into the dugout, sweat dripping, chest rising with each heavy breath, he finally cracked the faintest smile. Not because of the home run. Not because of the out. Not because of the history he had just shattered. But because he knew, this was only the beginning. And somewhere deep inside that electric stadium, every child watching, in Japan, in America, across the world, whispered the same dream. If he can do the impossible, maybe I can too. Ohtani sat down, the world still shaking from what he had done, and whispered four simple words the cameras barely caught. Let's go even further. A new legend had been born. And the game would never, ever, be the same again.